around, please, please, please. It went back to one thing, right?
What's that?
There's a book, right, that I need y'all to hear me on this one, right? I don't come over here and pump books, right?
Okay. There's a book.
But I'm going to get to the book, but I want to break this down, right? Does anybody understand that the National Football League's collective bargaining agreement? Anybody know what that is? Well, that's
CBA.
That's something that the players have signed off on.
Right.
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 And led by a players' association, a union, says, look, this is what we're going to. If you understand,
the NFLPA.
There's some things in this piece of paperwork that these guys signed, right, that prohibit them from engaging in a quality of life after their career that many of y'all who worked at AT&T get, right?
Okay.
Like pension and lifetime insurance, right?
Okay.
At a real number, or at a real point where you really need
it.
Okay?
Exactly.
These guys, honestly, they may get a gang of money right now, but some of the plans and the lifetime things, average lifespan of an NFL player is almost 3.5, almost 4 years, right?
Right.
So you got guys 4 years in, right? You got guys with 7 years in whose health insurance is weak at best, right? After they're done playing. When you on the field, you're good, right? But when you're done, right? So I'm looking at watching this young man on the ground, and I'm praying for him, but I'm also thinking that, God forbid he makes it and needs lifelong support, right? That's going to be a SHIT show because there's no real coverage element. And we got to talk about, come on, man.
I think, that they will make an exception.
Oh, they will make an exception for him, but what about
they will?
They had to
because
sue.
It's so public.
They had to sue and make a movie about CTE, right?
Yeah.
Okay? You had to have a Will Smith movie and a giant lawsuit, right? About CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, right?
Encephalopathy.
Okay? Brain damage for many NFL players who was hitting the head and now the career is over. All these concussions amount to something, right? CTE.
Concussion was a great movie.
It was a fight to get that recognized by the National Football League.
I was wondering, when the movie came out, I was wondering how they let it come out.
It was a fight to get CTE recognized.
Yeah.
And we knew it. I got football friends. I know something wrong with them.
Yeah.
Right? I know a bunch of them there's something wrong with, right?
Yeah.
So they had to fight to get acknowledgement that you put me in a sport and you made a gang of money in the sport on me.
Yeah.
That I got banged up to the head, but I got to sue the very entity, right, that put me out here and letting me entertain the masses. I got to sue you who made money on my entertaining the masses.
But we told you before you went in that there was a risk involved.
Okay, listen to me, okay?
Huh?
But how do you...
We told you before you went in.
Okay, feel free to join me, 407-894-1680.
We told you before you went in, Doc.
We're going to pray for that young man, I'm telling you. But I'm looking at this, right? Guys, you guys better have man, come on, what do y'all work? Yeah, they make a whole bunch of money, right? They make more money than the average worker who has good job and good insurance and a pension.
You're talking about
401k,
NFL players.
Right?
You're talking about
they
NFL
make way
players.
more money.
Yes.
They make way more money, okay, than Carla Johnson, who has a pension plan and she has insurance currently, and she's got a whole 401k. So when she spends her 31st year here at XYZ Corporation, she goes home and she's all set. This doesn't speak to the young person in the military, right, who joins the military and spends 20 years in the military and go home, and depending on how he exits the military, especially if he has disability, there's an opportunity for him to gain and get something, right?
Right.
The point is this game, right? They don't even have that chance for some of these guys, man. These guys play in this league, get pumped in the head, had to sue to get you to realize that two heads meeting together, right, is highly going to mess somebody up for a minute, right? Two helmets, banging helmet. But again, let's pray for this young man.
He took a helmet to the chest.
Let's pray for this young man. I just want to move on. I just had to get that off my chest, right?
Okay.
Because the problem is going to still be the problem if this guy walks and talks again no matter what, unless we're going to see this again. Hopefully we won't see it soon. But we're going to see this again.
You think so?
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me, dude?
You don't think this was an isolated kind of
dude, you got
1 in a million?
Dude, you got guys.
1 in a million, dog.
You got guys running 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
20 miles an hour, right?
It's a different athlete.
Into a 180-pound guy that can run 20 miles an hour runs into a 375-pound guy coming at him at any rate of speed, right?
Yeah.
Or coming off a corner. Dude, come on, man.
Yeah.
How do we not know this?
The collision is brutal.
It's the most absolutely. Thus, CTE and many others.
Some of those collisions have been likened to car crashes.
Absolutely.
To what it feels like when you're in a car crash.
Let me just say this, dude.
Yeah.
Let's pray for this young man, but they need to be the conversation out of this, and I hope he becomes. the spokesperson for this.
Hamlet.
Yes, I hope he becomes the spokesperson for this, and I hope he does it now, like Bishop said. I hope he gets out immediately and say, "Hey guys, we got to fix this issue because strike while it's hot, man. Tell them America that you guys make a lot of money, but your deal is a bad deal. Your lifetime deal, what you should be getting." It's a bad deal that doesn't favor you.
Wow.
You play 5 or 6 games in Major League Baseball, you're all set.
Guaranteed.
You follow me?
I do.
Okay? You go look around
It's a
the NBA.
guaranteed
Almost
contract.
100% of NBA contracts
Guaranteed.
are guaranteed all your money. Less than 5% of the NFL contracts are maybe 7, maybe 8 now, right?
Yes.
Are guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe
So,
10 now. Let's say even if we say
what does
10,
that mean for
no
your
more than
listeners
10.
who don't know?
That means you
what does
get
that mean?
all your money. If I cut you, you get your money.
Right.
If I trade you, you get your money, right?
Yeah, that's what it means. The
So
NFL
all I'm
is
saying is,
only,
remember the day, Glenn, when
Yeah.
the NFL, a kicker would miss a field goal in a crucial game, and the next day they have a press conference and say he's no longer with us. Remember them days?
I do.
He's no longer with the team, right? Or a guy would miss a catch in the end zone in a crucial game, and the next day he was cut. Remember them days?
I do.
The point I make is this. It's sad what we saw, but I tell you there's a deeper story to it, and we need to understand that just because you make a lot of money today, it ain't how much you make, it's how much you keep. And the history of young black men in pro sports has been a history of not keeping. Now, let me repeat that. I'm going to tell you this wide open. Please listen. The history is not how much you make, it's how much you keep, right? But the history of young black men in pro sports in America has been a history of not keeping. Making, but not keeping, right?
Okay.
And I don't put all of that on these young black men, many of which have been not educated, many of which come from families that have not been educated, especially in finance, right, Glenn?
Yes, sir.
Stay with me, right?
Yes, sir. I'm with you.
So the history of young black men in pro sports has been a history of making and not keeping, right? I just think this is a great opportunity to shed light. If you go watch 30 for 30 for 30 is called Broke on ESPN. It talks about the history of many of these athletes of making and not keeping. But the overwhelming majority of young black men who enter into this arena end up making but not keeping. Right?
Okay.
I think this is a great opportunity to talk about health insurance, covering your ASS, right?
Yeah.
And building a conversation as a whole, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, okay, you can take this the way you want to take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I saw the other day was concerning, but what was more concerning, right, is that understanding the coverage that these young men, okay.
He was a rookie?
No, he's in his second
year.
But
he's still making
even
the
if
minimum.
He's making $1 million, guys.
Yeah.
He's not making enough, right?
Yeah.
Even if he's
But
making
you
$1 million.
never expect this type of thing to happen, Don Miller. You
listen.
never expect this. He got hit in his chest
got
with the helmet.
I got a guy
right on his heart.
I got a guy that I love, right? And he's a longtime author, and he's a guy that I love. I love his work. I love what he represents. His name is William Roden, right?
Come on.
Bill Roden wrote the book.
I know Bill Roden.
$40 Million Slaves. Go get it. It's on Amazon. $40 Million Slaves, The Rise, Fall, and Redemption of the Black
I used to read his
Athlete,
column.
Okay?
I used to read his
column. So I
column.
want you to go get The Rise, Fall, and Redemption of the Black Athlete $40 million Slaves by Rick Rhoden, a former Sports Illustrated writer.
Yes.
Rick was amazing. He's still amazing. So, hey, everybody, how y'all doing? Let's get back into the conversation. I want to get that off my chest. I want to pump a brother. Okay, I love pumping this game, man, especially with people, I mean this, right? I want y'all to go understand that this is big. The young man sounds like he's getting better. We keep him in our prayers. We hope he presses his way through. Of course, we will be praying for him. But there's a bigger conversation, I think, at some point. Everybody's
and
like,
they're going to have it.
Everybody's like, we're human. We're human. They don't treat these young black men like human. Okay, they probably don't.
They'll have that conversation.
But the point is, right, when you have that conversation, I hope they have interpreters in the room. Now, let me just say this, right? You got to listen to me, man. Glenn, come on, man.
Did you just say interpreters?
I'm going to have a real conversation with you guys, right? I spent a lot of time in that industry, right?
I remember, and I was going to ask you.
And I'm going to just say this, right?
All right.
When I say I hope they have interpreters in the room, not the physical room, but interpreters in the conversation, right? Because many of these young people that I've seen these conversations, these collective bargaining conversations, right? I've seen this, right? The average, maybe even, I hate to say this, maybe a significant amount of the players who sign these agreements have no idea what's in these agreements, right? Many of them, and I know they've sent it to them to read, right? Everybody gets it.
Right.
I don't know anybody who read it that looks like me, right? I go way back to the day.
That's what agents are for.
I go way back to the day.
That's what lawyers are for.
No. Listen to me, man. Okay?
That's what assistants are for.
So you trust an assistant, an agent, or a lawyer to read something.
They're going to read over it for me and give me the highlights and let me know what I need to know.
Then you have a problem. And that's important to me.
That's probably
right?
what happens, yeah.
And then you have a problem because when you look at some of this stuff, right, it is egregious that it can go on in an organization of this magnitude, right? I was talking to Quetta Jean Johnson, man. They got, every other structured box, give you the whole package. Here you go. Here's your package. This is what you get. And what you don't get, if it's not in there, that's what you don't get, right? And I know this exists, and I just hope people understand, man, that's because you make $5 million, $10 million, man. That don't mean you good for your lifetime, right? And I'm just saying there's certain aspects I think that just shouldn't have to ask for, especially when it comes to guys running into each other at high rates of speed.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
That part right there.
If you're running into somebody at a high rate of speed and they paying you a certain amount of money, they should be responsible for your lifetime care because you're running into them at another person at a high rate of speed.
They never saw this day coming, Don. I don't think to this magnitude.
They got these guys running into each other at a high rate of speed, right?
Yeah.
And these guys don't even know that there's a possibility that you may not be covered long term. I know a guy broke his whole foot, didn't make the team. Broke his foot while playing for the team in a preseason game, right? 4 or 5 little plates, just broke it, right? Never could play again, right? He worked at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
College All-American.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a bonus. He got a 1-year deal. He's got a 1-year deal. His 1-year deal was $1,240,000.
Does he still have it?
I want you to listen to me though.
Mm-hmm.
First year, right? First year guaranteed. It was a second year optional because he was a second round pick, right? Listen to me, right? Great player. Broke his foot. Couldn't play no more. Team paid for every surgery he had at that moment. And years later, that foot came back to bother him after he had spent the $1.2 million, which he did so, as my grandma say, reckless after he got it, right? This guy hops around, works at a 7-Eleven, and he's 6'9", and he can't play anymore, right? Now, is it the league that he played in's obligation to cover his broken foot that he hobbles around on? I think it is because it happened while performing a duty for that entity, right? But he's kicked down the road, and I feel bad for him. Thank you so much for allowing me to mention that. I talked to him last night. He said, man, just tell them what they did to me. A beast. You hear me?
I do.
Okay?
I do.
Thank you so much. Let's run the break. We come back, open up the phone lines. Hey, this is the Don Miller Show with Glenn Allgood. It's Friday. I had to get that off my chest. Going to another conversation. Got a guest in the second half of the show. Hey, stay with me, y'all. I'll be back in a minute. Hurry up.
I keep on toiling. Lord, I'm toiling through the storm and rain. Oh, I'm patiently waiting and watching for the Savior come again. Oh,
You're listening to the Don Miller Show on 1680 WOKB.
Last time on Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell.
It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for another edition of Lyrically Correct. Let's welcome our new contestants to the show, Erica Campbell and also Tina Campbell. We got Mary and Mary. Erica Campbell, what does Mary need to do so they can dance? So I can dance. Oh, take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I was like, no, we have like 2 or 3 dance songs. No, we got like 2 or 3 dance songs. I was like, dance. No. Look, okay.
Erica, that's the main one. Come on now.
We're going to go with another main one, Tina Campbell. According to Mary, she writes them checks with a whole lot of what?
Zeros.
A whole lot of zeros.
That ain't fair. You asking us our own songs, TJ.
Hey, you almost missed it, though.
I did.
Get up and don't miss a minute of Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell.
Get up. Get up.
Let's get on the bus. Miss Eddie Ruth Jackson presents a bus trip to Sanford, North Carolina, February the 26th, 2023. Departing from 101 North Jefferson Street, Oakland, Florida. Please join us traveling to Sanford, North Carolina for this 73rd anniversary celebration of Slim and the Supreme Angels and the birthday bash for Big Mike. Featured artists, the Jackson Southerners, Jackson, Mississippi. CeCe Williams and the Spiritual QC's, Tupelo, Mississippi. Lil David and the Bells of Joy, Baltimore, Maryland. Adoration of New Jersey. Anthony Adams and Confirmation, North Carolina. And many more. Get on the bus for only $240. Includes your bus ride, your Holiday Inn Express hotel, and ticket price. Reserve your seat on the bus for $120 now. Final balance and payments due January the 31st, 2023. Get on the bus. It's the 73rd anniversary celebration for Slim and the Supreme Angels and the birthday bash of Big Mike. Get on the bus. Travel with us. Sanford, North Carolina. For more information, contact Miss Eddie Ruth Jackson, 321-303-2187. 321-303-2187. Come get on the bus with us.
if you need me to shout, Lord, I can shout right.
I have a dream. The Southwest Orlando Junior Chamber of the JCs presents the Downtown Orlando MLK Holiday Parade. This year's theme, It Starts With Me in 2023. Cultivating a beloved community mindset to break the cycle of injustice, it's the Southwest Orlando Junior Chamber of the JCs 2023 MLK Holiday Parade. 10 a.m. Saturday, January 14th, downtown Orlando. Come on, take in all the sights and sounds of the MLK Day Parade. It's downtown Orlando, the Southwest Orlando Junior Chamber of the JCs, the Downtown Orlando MLK Day Parade, and we will be there. 10 a.m. Saturday morning, January 14th. We'll see you there.
Welcome back to the Don Miller Show. Want to get in on the conversation? Call us now, 407-894-1680. That's 407-894-1680.
Hey, Glenn.
Yes,
so,
sir.
I just got to the station, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was listening to the commercials for the Martin Luther Day festivities in Central Florida. There's like parades. There's Edenville. There's the West Side Parade. There's a downtown parade.
Right. Apopka.
There's like 5 parades for Martin Luther King.
Right.
So a friend of mine asked me, what did I think, right, that Martin Luther King would be saying if he saw all this support and applause for him in his death, right? Posthumously, that's the word I struggle with, right?
Posthumous,
right?
Yes, uh-huh.
And I came to the conclusion, right, that taking money and building floats and paying for bands and having parties, day parties, right, and DJs, like All Good Entertainment, to come and play music that Martin probably wouldn't even like. Stay with me, Glenn. You hear me? Martin Luther King would be looking at us like, what are y'all doing? That should be a day of service. Been talking about this for how damn long, Glenn?
A long time.
Been talking about this for how damn long. I wasn't even going to touch this in this moment. I got a whole little thing I want to talk about. But I heard that commercial, man. Dr. King's day should be a day of service when we should get out of our houses and into our communities, and we should go to the senior facilities, right? And we should help people and speak to people and touch people and be there for people, right? And we're up and down the highways and byways with floats and come on. Glenn, what are we doing again, man? Martin Luther King's day should be a day for service. The day of Dr. King should be a day of service.
Why can we not celebrate the King?
Listen to me.
Why can we not celebrate the Martin Luther King? What do you
celebrate in service? Right? I'm sorry, guys. I know you're probably saying, Don, the white people don't do that. But we're not them, and we need to stop making that dumbass statement that the white people don't do that, right? We can't do what everybody else do, right?
Yeah.
But we should be honoring a guy who lost his life in service by being in service. Follow me? By standing in service, by doing something for somebody else, right? This gentleman was shot and killed at the Lorraine Motel
in Memphis.
In service. In a service walk headed over to Reverend Billy Kyle's house for dinner, right? And he was shot and killed, and I'll never forget. And I love you, Joseph, man. Pastor Kyle's passed on. And I remember Pastor Kyle's telling us the story about the day and Martin was coming over for dinner, right? Dwayne Kyle's lives in Florida. The Kyle's family are amazing people, right? But he died in service. He died while in Memphis working on the project. Yes or no?
Yeah.
In service to those who needed help.
I think he came to speak for the sanitation workers.
For those, listen to me, guys. He was in service for those who needed help. Why can't we take his day and everybody is out helping somebody? If we gave you a day off, they done gave you Negroes a day off out of guilt, right? So let's take that day off and do something for somebody else, man. Can y'all work with me on that, Glenn? Am I wrong for asking this question, Glenn?
No.
You know, I'm listening to, they got parties.
Yeah, but
day
you know
parties.
that it is also a day of service. You know that.
It's not. Who served what?
You
Tell me.
know that.
Send me where I can go.
You know that.
Send me where I can go on that day.
There are organizations that get out and do things, Don Miller. You know that.
Send me where I can go.
407-894-1680. Don wants to get out on MLK Day.
I'm just saying this, right? Dr. King would be shaming you people, man. He would be ashamed of you people.
How do you know Dr. King would be ashamed?
He would be absolutely ashamed of you people. He would be ashamed that we are standing here, right, today, and more focused on the work of those who don't love us than the work of those who do.
Dr. King he loved us.
Listen to me, man.
Dr. King loved us.
I'm going to say that again. Black folk over here focused on the work of those who don't love us than the work of those who do, man. What are we doing, guys? Dr. King of you Negroes, right? He will be ashamed that we stand by people who have committed acts, right, that are totally against the moral growth of a community of people, right?
He would have some questions.
Come on. Yeah,
he would have some
man.
questions.
He would have a problem.
He would.
Who look like us. Off the float to the little black kids who are diving on the concrete. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere.
Not anymore. They don't dive anymore, dog.
Okay. I go and I'm on this.
They don't dive anymore.
I go, right? Listen to me, man. I go to this parade. Holly's driving, right? And we're in this parade, and I ain't never seen no Negro nanigans like this in my life.
Oh, Eatonville's thick.
This is extreme Negro nanigans.
It's extreme.
Right? Okay? So we're driving, and they throw candy, and these little kids pushing each other to the side, and the violence ensuing for candy
They used to shove each other for
says
the
to
candy.
me, man, come on, what are we doing, right?
That was back then, dog.
That was 2 years ago, right before COVID, okay? Cut that nonsense out, okay? I'm just saying, look, if we going to speak on behalf of Dr. King and represent him and represent and appreciate his work, let's acknowledge the actual work he did. And we're not doing so by having parades and parties downtown at Ember. You know what I mean? Come on, man. We don't need a party, right? Let's go help somebody.
It's a meet and greet at Embers where
I don't
people
care
can
what
get
it
together
is, man. Listen to me, man.
and talk
Yeah,
about where
look,
we need to
listen,
go
listen.
from here.
Listen to me. I just want to say this, okay? We need to stop. Or be fair and just say, look, we want to have a party, right? I just don't think it's the right thing to do, but that's just my opinion. My opinion is my opinion. Feel free to join me, 407-894-1680.
Well,
Glenn, listen to me, man.
You know, Americans and black people, whenever we can party, we're going to party. This is a national holiday.
Okay.
We're going to party.
And I concur. I love to see you there. Wear all your gear. Go to the Dr. King party. Hey, listen, also, I got something else I want to hit.
What you got?
Boy, I got so much going on. Had a chance to meet Maxwell Frost. Haven't told you, have I?
You did not, but I saw the esteemed Bishop Derek L. McRae up in the halls in Tallahassee. Did you see him? Did you happen to bump heads with the bishop?
I didn't go to the inauguration this year.
He was up there.
But I want to say congratulations to Governor DeSantis. And I want to I got to say it, dude. Okay?
What about that speech about the woke?
I ain't worried about none of that. I'm saying he kept the state open during a very difficult time.
That's not a trade-off.
That is a
That's
trade-off.
not a
That's
trade-off.
trade-off.
If
So
he
anyway.
can get on there and talk about us being woke, you know he's talking to black people.
Again, right?
How are you dodging this?
I did not go to the
How are
inauguration.
you dodging it? You heard the speech, though.
I thought the speech was inappropriate, quite
Thank you.
frankly.
Thank
right?
you.
But I didn't run up there behind
Thank
him. Bishop McRae ran up there behind him.
You better.
I'm just telling you what I know.
Better.
I didn't even go.
Donna, you kidding me right now?
Floyd was there.
Oh my God.
Floyd was there. Floyd.
My heart's beating fast. Derek McRae did not run up there.
Was he there?
Yeah.
Okay, why? Thank you very much.
I seen him with Alejandro.
Okay.
Alejandro Frost. You're gonna talk. You been
Oh, Derek McRae was in D.C., not in Tallahassee.
Okay.
All right.
Somebody
Okay,
just
let me
told
just
you-
say, Alejandro, right?
Maxwell. Alejandro Frost.
I met him, and I want to tell
I
you,
told you he was cool.
he's not cool at all.
What? What are you?
I met him.
My
I met him.
God.
I met him, and I wasn't impressed.
Face to face.
I met him. I wasn't impressed.
Did you talk with him?
I met him. I wasn't impressed.
Did he have time to talk to you?
You get 2 minutes with Don Miller. You got to impress me in 2 minutes if you are speaking on behalf of the people.
His elevator speech wasn't on point.
No, I don't think he had one. I think he's there. He's good. I think he's there and he's good. Okay? But I can tell you this. I hope he understands that the key to that is longevity, right? And I think he's sharp. I think he's really sharp, right? And I think he's sharp. But I also think, hey, Glenn, you left your mic on. I said I think he's sharp, right? But I also think that he's going to get to Washington, D.C., right? And they're going to they're going to have to handle him, right? Because I hope for a fact, I think he's a really sharp young man.
I knew it.
But he brought a friend.
I knew it.
He brought a friend as I was on as the district director, someone I love, my brother, your brother, Jason Henry, right?
For real?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So
Yes.
I think,
Yeah.
you know how we feel about Jason Henry.
We love him.
He's a part of the show. He's been a part of the show for many years. So
Yeah.
he's
Good.
the district director.
Congrats, Jason.
So I just think that, I want to wish him well. This is what I want to get into real quick. We got a guest in the second half. This is going to be probably one of my favorite shows. My vibe is, my spider sense is telling me this, right? Watch this. So here we go with a white dude. I don't know if he's white, Jewish guy. No, he's not actually Jewish. Who the hell is George Santos?
Okay. I don't think he knows.
Who the hell is George Santos? I had to do this show, right?
I don't think he knows.
Okay, George Santos is the newly elected congressman from New York.
From New York.
Right? From the 3rd District of New York, right? And George Santos may be one of the greatest liars outside of the 18-year-old doctor in South Florida that I've seen rise to the level, right?
Okay.
Remember the little 18-year-old boy that said he was a doctor?
I do.
He gone to jail again, but we're gonna leave him alone. He was one of the best interviews I ever had. So George Santos, 3rd District, New York, won the congressional seat, lied like a rug. He had these white people thinking he was Jewish and rich.
Yeah.
And white.
And white.
Right?
Yeah.
And educated.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
And smooth.
Yeah.
And now they mad. You know how many times that happened to my black ass? And we done voted for him. Okay? I'm glad they got it now, right? How many times we done voted for somebody
Shouldn't he have to resign?
No, that man shouldn't resign, man.
No, Don Miller.
Glenn,
No.
Glenn, how many times black people done sent somebody to speak on our behalf, and then we find out they ain't one of us? Kamala Harris.
Listen. Yeah, wait.
Come on now. If we gonna do this, we can do this, right?
I don't believe
How many times see these white folk like, we got to get him out of there. He lied on his resume, right? But guess who done lied on their resume, y'all?
Who?
There's a lady right now. Let me just tell y'all this. I'm about to do this. I've been wanting to do this show for a minute.
You can't lie on your resume.
The president, the CEO of Bausch & Lombs, Ron Zarella, lied on his resume, didn't even have a real education, lied about his MBA, spoke at school early on, and they realized he was lying, and they said, we can't fire him because he's too valuable to the company. Okay? David Edmondson, the CEO of Radio Shack, lied about his entire education, had even never graduated. That is Mr. David Edmondson, right?
I like this. Keep going.
Scott Thompson, the CEO of Yahoo, lied about his resume. Even before that, he had lied to become the president of PayPal. My shout's out to Scott Thompson. You cold to the game, right? There's a lady who was a professor for 27 years at MIT, a dean. They later found out in the 27th year that she lied and didn't even have a PhD. Quite frankly, not a BA as well, right?
She lied.
27 years it took to find out this white lady was not telling the truth, right? Let me explain something to you, right? There's no reason to remove George Santos when he has become a brother in a fraternal organization of liars.
You cannot.
Okay? The United States House of Representatives
Where does it stop?
is loaded with liars.
Where does it
and
stop?
Cons, right?
Where does it stop?
And thieves, right? Where does it stop?
Where does it stop?
So you want to stop the guy who we caught before he got in the bed of den, and center den, right?
Yeah.
Stop him now. It's too many of them already there, right? We need to, as Americans and black people especially, stop getting mad at millionaires who run for office and get mad at the millionaires who were in office, broke, and became millionaires. You follow me?
I do.
We got to stop being mad at somebody who rich want to run for office and be concerned about these who got rich while in office. The game is a cold game.
It is.
Listen to me, man. This guy lied, but they all lie. So we're going to pick him out, right?
So he gets a pass?
No, man. Why we going to leave that man alone? The people voted for him. No. We should be mad at the hundreds of
thousands.
No,
we voted for the guy that he said that he was.
Okay.
And we're finding out that he's not.
Vet before vote. Vet before vote. Guess who has a history of not vetting before voting? The Negro in America. Now, white people doing it, it's a story. This ain't no story. The Negro has never vetted a candidate, right? You ran because of chucks and pearls and voted for somebody who never identified as a Negro until she needed the Negro vote. Yes or no? I'll wait.
Everybody does it now and then. Every race has done it now and then.
Man, listen, man. The Negro vote, the Negro has never vetted its vote. We voted for Joe Biden, right? Didn't vote for Trump, but definitely voted for Biden, whose history has been 100% 47 years of legislation against the Negro.
Yeah.
Go look.
Yeah.
35 bills, 35 pieces of legislation against the Negro. Embarrassed a very brilliant sister Professor Anita Hill, while being the chair of Judiciary as a Democrat going against a Republican Supreme Court nominee in Clarence Thomas, the Democrat attacked the black woman while the Republicans did not. Go look, and who was in charge of that? Joe Biden. Vet before vote. We will always find ourselves screwed behind the numbers because we don't vet before vote. Now, white folk didn't vet, and now they want to bring the guy down. I support George Santos' lying ass for Congress, Don Miller, today. We got to vet people, man. They dropped the ball, didn't vet this cat. They didn't vet this cat. Now they mad. Like, man, we can't let him go. The Negro has been letting people go who we have not vetted historically. But guess what, people? White folk, y'all need to be quiet for 5 minutes and let me say this right. Welcome to the party. The system's broken, man. Y'all mad at Donald Trump, man. Black folk, Donald Trump is a byproduct of a broken system. 11 votes for McCarthy is a byproduct of a broken system.
Dude, he still ain't in.
Byproduct of a broke. How about we fix the system? How about we have marches and parades and parties to fix the broken system? Donald Trump didn't show his income taxes, and everybody was like, he's a cheater. He's a cheater. He didn't show us his income taxes. And Joe Biden said, when I'm elected president, that's one of the first pieces of legislation I'm going to make it where you got to show your income taxes. Has he done that yet? And he's not going to because they all benefit from the same curveballs. Vet before vote. Take some phone calls. We got some phone calls, man. I'm just saying, man. I do this for real, man. I'm not new to this. I'm absolutely true to this, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying we got to vet before we vote. Man, we'd be happy as a homosexual in a CC camp. That is so inappropriate. Sorry about that to the LGBT community.
That was horrible.
I'm just saying, man. we got to vet before vote. And then we see other people.
But we can only go on the information that's given to us.
Okay, I hear you.
Yes?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let's keep, I like to talk local politics when I start talking about this.
All right.
So, local politics,
Orange
right?
County, Orlando,
local
Seminole.
politics, local politics.
Yeah.
A few years ago, there was some legislative action in the Florida House of Representatives, right? And this legislative action was called the Baggy Britches Bill, which allowed the law enforcement authorities to stop and address the baggy pantses in the community, right? Now, at this time, more baggy pantses were of young black men sagging up and down the highways and byways of Central Florida.
You didn't like it. You didn't like it.
So this representative, right, goes to Tallahassee, and he speaks before the entire House and says, I am proposing legislation to allow the police to address the baggy britches problem we have in the black community. Now, the police in the black community, both black and white, were saying, oh, hell no. You are not going to put me at odds by pulling over a young black man because his pants is down, him fleeing, right? Then we creating a major issue.
Right.
Okay? We don't want that. And the legislator said, well, I think it's the right thing to do to address the baggy pants in the black community by allowing the authorities to pull them over. And I said on this show, this Negro is out of his mind. It was a black person who sponsored the legislative action. Gary Siplin.
He didn't think it through.
And I will never respect him for that one piece of legislative action. Negro, please.
You got to forgive people.
Why would a black man, I get it. It looks horrible.
Yeah.
It is distasteful when you see, and many of these young men don't even, it's horrible. They don't even know where it came from, but it's horrible.
Yeah.
But I don't need the police, who I need protecting and serving these communities better, right, in many instances, to not address this nonsense. And so for this black guy, Gary Siplin, y'all tell him, Don Miller talking about him again, to think this was a good idea. But again, vet before vote. Vet before vote.
Vet before vote, okay.
We need to know, without a shadow of a doubt, what this person has to, how can this person help us, and how can this person hurt us, right? George Santos, 3rd District, New York, is a liar. And he lied about everything, Glenn. He made up stories, right? But there are many liars, right? There are many liars in Congress, and many liars in the Senate, and many liars in the city council, and many liars at every level in the political arena, right? And now they just got handled by George Santos. Blame that on the game, baby.
I know.
Blame that on the game, man.
He got him. Didn't he get him
on
good?
The game, man. He got him good.
Sweet.
Hey, this is John Miller. When I come back,
with
another conversation. This might be something not for the faint of heart, but stay on the radio anyway. Don't run. Please. I'll be back in a minute. Hurry up, Glenn. Let's get this done. Drinking and judging.
Stay with me, Lord. Come on. And whoa, Lord. Whoa, Lord. Friends are gathered round. They're watching me slowly. I'm slowly sinking down. But
You're listening to the Don Miller Show on 1680 WOKB.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
It's tax time, Central Florida, and Virtual Tax Services gets you the cash you deserve. That's right. Virtual Tax Services gets you the cash you deserve. 877-775-2167. We come to you or we do it virtually. It's Virtual Tax Service. Now accepting clients. 877-775-2167. Tax strategies, credit repair, real estate. Call Virtual Tax Services. 877-775-2167. Virtual Tax Services. We get you the cash you deserve. 877-775-2167. Call now. Centurion Financial Strategies, LLC.
this is where Darwin with the people's choice. So you set to invest in a home, Mr. Tony Darby at the link. Quality, prestige and class, a realtor that care about what the customers think. Come on, buy the home that you wanted. Come on. If you need to buy, sell or invest, 407-900-1707 or 863-605-5678. With Mr. Tony Darby, the people's choice. Tony Darby Realtor. People's choice. Tony Darby Realtor. The rules are...
I have a dream.
The Southwest Orlando Junior Chamber of the JCs presents the Downtown Orlando MLK Holiday Parade. This year's theme, It Starts With Me in 2023. Cultivating a beloved community mindset to break the cycle of injustice, it's the Southwest Orlando Junior Chamber of the JCs 2023 MLK Holiday Parade. 10 a.m. Saturday, January 14th, downtown Orlando. Come on, take in all the sights and sounds of the MLK Day Parade. It's downtown Orlando, the Southwest Orlando Junior Chamber of the JCs, the Downtown Orlando MLK Day Parade, and we will be there. 10 a.m. Saturday morning, January 14th. We'll see you there.
Prepare now for the Global American Miracle Arena Crusade in Orlando, Florida at the Amway Center, July 21st and 22nd, 2023. Experience the miracles.
That's why sickness is gonna go tonight.
I feel so good, and the pain just left my arms. It's so good.
Let the bodies of the people go. Look, oh my God, look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Registration's free. Seats are free. Call 1-877-THE-GLORY.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
In December 2020,